Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here, coming at you with another game. Sorry for that. Good luck, have fun. Coming from Hasu, and return GLHF coming from ClouD. I would apologize too. I've done that sometimes, where I'm like, you know what? I feel like void raid rushing this game. I'll just try a void raid rush, and they're just not prepared for it, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doing that to you. Anyway, but Hasu playing really well in game 2, and basically it's kind of the Templar tech is kind of the difference in the two games that we've seen from these two players. In game 1, saw the robotics facility tech. We saw Hasu getting the getting the Colossi as his form of mass damage dealing unit, and they did pretty well, but the Vikings picked them off very quickly, and he didn't really have much response for the Vikings, and so the massive bio army was able to kill off Hasu's army very quickly. In game 2, we saw him kind of delay a little bit longer, and just build up a huge army and waited for Hasu to get Templar tech, and once those Templar had their full tech, they were just monstrous, absolutely monstrous. He had the amulet, the Khydarian amulet, that allows them to have more energy as soon as they warp in. So he had a lot more energy on his High Templar, and just was able to storm the crap out of ClouD's army, and that was pretty much all she wrote at that point. Anyway, so let's see what happens in Game 3, and by the way, it looks like there is only 3 games from this series, so I'm going to assume that this is a best of 3. I think that would be safe to assume. So this is the deciding match. Again, I don't know too much about the context of the tournament. I don't have time this afternoon to do a ton of research. I just wanted to squeeze some games in, get some games done. Better to have games than no games, I would assume, and squeeze these games out. So hopefully, if you're interested, you know, it's an ESL thing. You can look it up if you want to. Anyway, same build coming from both players, basically. Hasu, again, kind of putting his unit buildings in strange places around his base. I'm really curious what his decision-making is behind that. I mean, I have some theories that I've mentioned before about why he might do that. It makes it difficult to scout. Sometimes it helps to have buildings in the back to, you know, if there's drops, they'll drop out and start attacking the buildings instead of the probes, that kind of thing. But I wonder what his reasoning is. Anyway, but pretty much the same exact build coming from Hasu, and pretty much the same exact build coming from ClouD as well. Getting that one Marine out to stop scouting, getting his Tech Lab down. We're probably going to see the Concussive Shells and a Marauder come out next. And this time he is going to go with the Reaper. He went with the Reaper in the first game, and it was completely ineffectual. In the second game, he didn't go for the Reaper, just went for a longer game. He was a little bit more worried. He went out with just a couple Marauders and a Marine, actually, in that second game, and lost them very quickly to a few Stalkers. So this time opting for the Reaper instead. And I think that Hasu is probably going to be able to deal with it pretty well, especially if he scouts it, which we do have a probe coming in here to try and take control of this Naga Tower. Xel'Naga Tower, and it's going to chase that SCV out. He's just going back and forth across the path of that, and he does retain control, actually. ClouD retains control of that tower. Not going to go in there, apparently, and kill off that SCV. Reaper is out. It's running around the side here. I'm not sure why it's going around this way. Presumably he's going to come up this direction, but he must expect Stalkers to be over here. I'm surprised he didn't come over here instead and run up this side, but it looks like, well, maybe that's why, because Hasu has decided to actually go in and put a Stalker over that way, just in case, regardless. So he comes in here, kills off a probe that was came down here, possibly to make a Nexus. I didn't see what was going on down there. It could have just been one of the scouting probes coming back home, but it looks like he is saving up for an expansion. So the expansion gets slowed down a little bit by that Reaper, who is now just going to turn back. And where'd the Reaper go? Lost track of the Reaper. Oh, look at this. SCV is just going to run right up into the base. Wow. That is nice. It's a Gosu SCV right there. Running in, seeing everything. Seeing another gateway going down. Seeing, very importantly, the lack of robotics facility at the moment. Seeing the warp gate tech, although he's got to expect that. But also seeing that there's only 2 gateways right now, and spotting that expansion as well. So that's going to save him a lot of money, basically, because that is, well, first of all, in the past games, we see him have to delay this expansion. He built the expansion early, morphed it into an orbital command, and then couldn't actually put it out at his expansion for a while because he didn't know what was going on in the enemy base and was a little bit afraid of a counterattack. This time he sees the 2 warp gates, he sees the expansion, and so therefore he knows that he's safe to put this expansion out here. Also, the SCV scouting in there is going to save him the 50 energy for the scan that he'd have to use to see what tech was going on that he can use for another mule instead. Over here at this new expansion, getting up a turret as well, again just in case of some kind of hidden tech. It's always handy to have those turrets around, especially because you're going to get the engineering bay for your infantry upgrades regardless. You might as well get a turret up at your front just in case something comes in, some kind of DT tech or something like that. Not likely that he's going to have DT tech, although he didn't see the robo in there earlier, so there could have been some sort of proxy DT tech going on somewhere, so it's always safe to have that that turret there. Anyway, we got the Twilight Council going down. I know in the past I've called this a Citadel. It's just it serves the same function as a Citadel. It's got the leg upgrade on it. It's the stepping stone to the Templar archives. It's very similar to the Citadel. I apologize for anyone who was offended by me calling it a Citadel of Adun in some of my other StarCraft 2 games. Lots of units just coming out here. Just a barracks, and again, going with the Raven, going with the Tech Lab early on. We actually didn't see him get the Raven in the last game, unless I missed it. So it's interesting that played a role in things as well. But the Raven, again, just handy to have around. Again, just in case of DTs, but also spellcasting unit is able to put down auto turrets in the midst of battle or point defense drone if it has enough energy. And Hasu is coming in here with an observer, a Hasu Obs, you might say, and he's going to be able to scout what's going on here. But oh, the Raven might spot that. Oh, almost sees it. He may not have seen that right there. But now with the Raven, he's also going to be able to kill off any observers in his base if he sees them. Watch out, observer. Be very, very careful. Uh-oh, I think he sees... what's going on over here? Okay, oh, this is just the factory running into a scout. He sees that observer, but he hasn't had a chance to kill it off just yet. Looks like he sent an SCV in as well. But critically, he's going to see the Templar archives right there, and that is what he needs to know. Yeah, he saw the Templar archives when he sent that SCV in with that factory. While the stalkers were chasing the factory, I think he sent the SCV in. I missed it, but either way, he got a scout in. Both players scouting each other's bases. And what's he going to do with his starport, I wonder? I'm probably going to go with Medivacs at this point, I would think, since he spotted the Templar tech. He knows the robotics facility is there, but he's got to know that that Templar tech is what's mostly on the way. Charge is just finished upgrading, by the way, so these Zealots are going to be much more effective against this Bio army, and I really think that Hasu has the advantage here. Again, he's got Charge, he's almost got Storm. Once he gets Storm upgraded, yeah, he's got a couple Templar over here. They're going to have enough energy for a couple Storms, and with the Storm and the Charge together, they are going to be able to obliterate this Terran army. They're going to be able to do so much damage. The Storms to basically soften everything up, especially the Marines, are going to take a lot of damage if he doesn't dodge very quickly, which is hard to dodge. I mean, you still take some damage even if you dodge it. But anyway, he's going to soften up the army with a few Storms, and then the Zealots charging in will be able to polish things off very easily. I mean, maybe it's going to come down to micro, I guess, is what it comes down to. He does have concussive shells, obviously. He has stim. If he's able to stim and fall back out of the Storms and fall back away from the Zealots once they use up their charge and slow them down with the concussive shells and then run away, then he might have a chance. But I do think that Hasu has the advantage here. 4 Templar in play now. For Hasu, it looks like we do have, I believe, where is the... Yes, we do have Ghosts out right now. So Ghosts are the counter, and that is exactly what he needed last game, which he didn't have, is the Ghosts. And basically then it's going to come down to a kind of a back and forth thing where the Ghosts will sometimes get feedbacked by the Templar. If the Templar can pull it off first. It's kind of a whoever hits whom first will win the battle sort of thing. If the Ghosts can go in and EMP those Templar, boom, 1 EMP, take out all the energy on all those Templar, then ClouD wins the battle. If the Templar can get in there and somehow feedback the Ghosts and get a storm off before that happens, then boom, Hasu wins the battle. And so it's going to be just this game is basically balanced on a knife's edge right now. Either player could take this game if they win this next battle, and this next battle is going to come down to just some very, very slight micro. And it looks like ClouD decides he's going to be the aggressor here. He's going to try and move in, and we're probably going to see him, and I like this, he's keeping the Templar back. He's not going to use them until he has to.